Hi there, welcome to my channel. For those who haven't already, please hit the like button and subscribe, and let's get on with the video. Today is we are actually the 10th of December. And it's 9 o'clock in the morning, quarter to 9. And I'm going to be making a log bed. Okay? Let's look at the sizes. Bed sizes. California King 7284 with length. The king size is 76 by 80. The queen is 60 by 80. The double is 54 by 80. All 80s, except for the California King is taller. It's an 84. And the twin, okay, or the double is 54 by 80. The twin is 38 by 80 or 75. The single is 30 by 75. And the Olympic Queen is 66 by 80. Okay? I got this off a website. It's American. So Canadians must have the same sizes anyways. It's a universal thing, I do believe, right? So, as far as the bed goes, it's going to be 4 posts and a headboard. The headboard looks like a ladder. Okay. Now, as far as the dimensions go, I'm making the double. 54 by 80, as you can tell. 48 tall at the headboard. And the headboard railing, or the ladder, is going to be 16 from center to center. Now if my log is 6 inch, I've added 6 inch to that 16, which makes 22. When you lay down your mattress, your pillow should be somewhere in the middle of that bottom log. So that's going to sort of determine where I'm going to place my mattress. And from there I subtract 12, and that's going to be the bottom of my frame, my bed frame itself, bed box, wherever you put the mattress in. Now, normally, I'm going to make this like 1.5 inch longer and wider, so you can actually go in there and tuck in put your hands in there and put in your bed sheets, right? Okay, so that's an important thing. It's fine knowing the mattress size, but how do you get in there, right? So you got to make it 1.5 inch larger on both dimensions. Okay, that doesn't affect the 12. The only thing that affects the 12 is if you have a mattress with more padding on it. Okay, some have lots of padding, some have no padding at all, they're just springs, right? But this matters on where you're going to put the box. Okay, now the box is going to be made with either 2 2x8s or 1 1.25 boards glued together to give it more strength. Okay, and that also permits me to put one, like, make a more solid corner joint of the box. This box will be fastened to these posts, okay, by notching them. I plunge in 90 degrees, right, and I take my box frame that I've already built and I just screw it into the log. That's how that's going to be held together. Okay, so I don't think I've forgotten anything. And I'll have to think a little bit more about where I'm going to put the mattress height, because it's going to depend on my log thickness. Okay, so without further ado, like I said once before, please don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe, and let's get on with it. Okay, so these are the logs with which I'm going to be making the headboards and the legs, okay? These are 8-footers, and the bed is 80 inches. So that really doesn't affect this portion of it. All I got to do is figure out my 48s. Okay, so these are my logs. As far as the legs go, you want the largest pieces for the legs. So I'm going to flip this over. And these two are the biggest ones, and the fattest ones at the base are here. And how large is that crack? Okay, I can notch into the crack, that way I have a solid piece. Okay, so this is the log. They're roughly 6-inch diameters, but you see that it's irregular shape. So it might be 7, might be, so I gotta take an average, right? But here, my boards are 2.5 by 2.5, so I'm gonna have a 2.5 set of boards going this way and 2.5 set of boards going this way. But this is correct. Once I've notched into my log, I've plunged into the log here, and from the other side here, okay, and I've made my notch the same way you see here. I have an inch on top here and an inch to one side. So I have to account for that inch twice because there are 2 bed posts. Roughly, sort of, like not off too much, because that way I'll lose my inch of material that I left myself, right? So this is just for the first, this is by no means the finished product. But it's to give you an idea to make this rough cut. Go. One bed post. And I'm going to hang it from the ceiling. Guys, it almost stands up on itself. Maybe I don't have to do much to it. So I'm going to get the next post and we'll do the same thing for the next one. Okay, so what you see here is, I'm the guy behind the camera. So what you see here is, that's going to be my sideboards. I'm going to just plane one side of it and then glue them together, fixed to this table, since I know this table is flat. So I'll get a flat beam for one side, the other side. These will be my headboards, my foot and head box, bed box spring frame. Wow, that's a tongue twister. And they're not going to be the same lengths, right? Because I want them to one butt there and then one butt on a different angle, right? Instead of having two pieces glued together same length, two pieces together glued the same length. So that way I'll get a stronger corner. Alright, so now I'm cutting the lengths of these boards. And like I said, they're not the same, but I only have to cut the inner ones first. So I still have a second chance. If something goes wrong, there's some extra length on either side of the board once they're glued together. So this board, since I need 60.5 wide for the end boards of the foot and the head of the bed, and this is all going to be hidden in the post anyways, but I'm just doing it this way. So 60.5 minus 2.5 is 58. So I'm cutting the ends 58. The inner boards. Yeah, the inner boards. So I'm not worried about the width yet. So I'm going to do one more like this. Okay, so now is the time to spin the logs to a smaller diameter. I gotta spin them to 3.5 so that I can actually get the pencil sharpener on the tip, so I can. But I'm not gonna leave them perfectly round. I'm gonna mess them up a bit, like make it look like it had knots in it, and the same way the other lumber looks, to make everything look the same. Okay, so it just so happens that I can chuck 20 inches of lumber on here, okay, and if I look and stretch my tape out here, 20 will do the job. See my mark there? That's the top of the mattress, if I'm not mistaken. And I have an X here. No. Where is? I have other markings on there. I'm pretty sure of that. I can't see them. So these small posts are going to be 20 inches long from tip to tip. So I started sharpening my bed posts. And it's a two-step process. I go in with a big cone, finger deep, because final pass is with this one, and it's finger deep. These have a certain outer diameter, but you're limited to the blade width. Okay, so this is 2 3/4, but it's supposed to be 3 when you squeeze on the comb, right? Alright, so now I gotta make sure I cut these to their length, the proper length. Okay, so I'm just gonna mark them all and do the other side. So now I've gotten the box down right. That's supposed to be 50 or 60 and a half wide. Still fit. Okay, so now I've got to cut these to length. I added an extra inch to these, right? And to do so, my measuring tape. I believe they're 29. I need a 28, which that's exactly what it is. So I'm going to take an eye ring. Okay, bring it up closer. Okay. And I'm going to tap the bottom of it. And I'm going to hang it from this railing here and then mark around it to find my the center of this piece. Okay, get me some string. Got a bunch of it here. It's probably going to end up knotting. Okay. Hang from here. So that's the center. It's hanging, the center of gravity, that's how it should be hanging, right? It's evening out all the mass and everything. And like over here. No. The floor isn't really level. So I may have to use the other spot over here. I'm going to use this spot right here, and I'm not going to change. I'm not going to go around the piece. I'm going to spin the log on the rope. That way I'm not creating errors. Okay. And I gotta repeat this 4 times. Okay. And I'll use a measuring tape. Mark my 28, which is 28, the magic number here. I need 31 and 1/8. So I'm going to cut a piece 31 and 1/8. So see what I mean? This is all going to be okay. So to get this as close as possible with a Sawzall, you got to leave your saw in the cut and go around the log. Then you go through it. Okay. Yeah, things are starting to shape up. I'm sorry if there's some glares from the windows. My display screen, where I see what I'm seeing through the camera, is virtually useless now. I dropped it on the floor and I'm just getting haze, bright stuff, weird funky lights. I'm not quite sure what I'm filming until I actually put it on my computer. So, another 8-inch block, so I'm going to set my bed frame on these 8-inch blocks. This is what I had designed it for. Okay. So I'm going to make some dowels. They're 2 1/8. I'm going to remove the bulk of the dowel. Once again, I'm going around, keeping the blade in the cut till it's sawn through. That way, it's the best possible cut I can make with this kind of saw. So this is what I do. I actually sand them off. Alright, so I gotta find the center of the log. And the reason why I have it up on its end, it'll be easier to drill this way. So, 2 1/4, so this is okay. And this way I have so I poked some holes in the end of these, okay, and I can go in about that much. Okay, so the jig will consist of these 2 blocks, which will help hold this in an upright position, and I had it marked here somewhere. And it is here. It's my center, so I want this to be exactly the way it is, I believe. Yep. It's sitting as it should. So I'm just going to poke a hole here. Am I going through here? Do the same on this side. And pop a screw in there. Okay, pop a screw in here. Oh, I ran into a hole. There, that's still good. Nice. Okay, that's it. So now we're going to poke a hole here and at the other end. So I want to make sure that I'm going in at the right angle, and this drill guide is going to be making sure of that. So this is what I want to go in first. Okay. Alright, so this is what I see. Okay, here's the tools, and I'm looking at 4 inches deep. So the holes are done. This is just the headboard, right? And they are, this side is 3.5, but I had less material to work with, right? And when I was afraid that the drill bit would poke out the other side, now for those two. Okay, so I've marked my distances. I want a 55 top and bottom for the foot section, and I drew a line from the center of that log to that log parallel to this, and I set up the drill again with the level on there, and I've commenced those holes. That one started, and they've already been, all I have to do is follow that drill guide. Okay. 12 degrees. And I guess we're gonna have snow for Christmas. We got almost a foot of snow overnight. This is Saturday before Christmas 2024. So I finished polishing up all the posts and the cross members. Okay, now I gotta clean up this mess. Oh, that was quick. Oh, there's another. Holes, get the dirt out or the chips.
Well, I stack and I fumble. Boys, I
right. These are going to fit in here very easily. Okay. Well, something went easy. I'll give up that. Alright, so I've sanded down most of the defects on this, but I don't know if this is coming up in the video shot. That's kind of rough, right? So I decided to actually work it with this, the oscillator. A little bit better. Well, this turned out pretty good. I'm really happy about how it looks and everything. I'm not done yet. I don't know if I'm going with spar varnish or if I'm going with maybe tung oil. I tried linseed oil on some cedar before, and if the sunlight hits it, it goes dark. Not every time, but now it might have been double boiled or raw, I don't know. Yeah, so what I have left to do is actually plunge in the box bed, the bed box frame into the post. I'm going to recess it in there on all four corners, and it's going to be lagged to the headboard and the footboard. Okay. Okay, so you didn't see me assemble this portion of it, the foot of the bed. You're going to see me assemble the head of the bed, and once I get started, I really got to be quick about it. So what I'm doing is, this is all pinned, right? And what's going to happen is, I'm going to take it apart and glue in these pins and the dowels. And then I'm going to tighten up the lag screws, and I'm going to let it dry. Then I'm going to touch off these pegs and put on a coat of tongue oil. Okay, so now I have to shave off these dowels so the sheets don't get ripped up. theater. If you get a dent or something, you just that's it, it's gone, right? Okay, now I have to dismantle the base and the headboard so that I can actually get the last 4 pegs on the footboard, and I can loosen up the bedboard frame so that I can actually get some tung oil in there. Alright, so these colors, the color or the hue, it really looks wet, right? The headboard, for some reason, there was already some blackish stains in there. I don't know what caused it, whether it's a fungi. the total height of the bed, which I have, is 20 inches. That's the box spring and mattress. Okay, that's an important measurement. Like, you have to decide when you're making this if you're going to put a box spring or you're just going to put a mattress in. But if you put both, you got to know the height. And that will depend on what type of mattress you buy. Some have more cushioning than others. So you sort of have to find a measurement which is sort of universal, that'll work on anything, which is kind of difficult because there are a lot of mattress sizes, you know. But I'm going to go with the double 5480, all right? Now, this is where confusion sort of sets in, right? Well, I'm just going to make a box 54 by 80. Well, that's fine, but that has to be the inner diameter of the box. Plus, you want to leave yourself 1.5 inches to be able to go in there and put your bed sheets on. If not, you have your fingers pinched up against the board trying to roll covers underneath, sheets underneath the mattresses and stuff. Okay? So I accounted for 1.5 inches. And 1.5 inches is plenty of room for the fingers in the sheet, right? Also, like, this is the length, total length that I would be making these box frames, okay? I added an extra 2 inch because these are 6-inch diameter logs. You'd have to know the diameter of the log. If you go half of 6, it's 3. But I have 2.5 inches of lumber because I'm going to glue 2 1.25 boards together to give it some strength. Laminations are always stronger, but it's 2.5 inches. So I'm left with roughly 1 inch. I gave myself 1 inch because a log isn't uniform. It's a rough log. So I gave myself 1 inch. Well, twice of 1 inch is 2 inch. That's just for the corner of the bed to clear the log, because the log sticks into the inner portion of the box. So you have to account for that. So really, my total length is going to be 83.5, okay, of this skirt board, and not 80. And over here, I don't know if you can see it, but 54 plus 1.5 inches, so I can get my hands in, is 55.5. Now, the reason why I can skip the portion here on that is because I'm actually going beyond. My 75 would have an extra 8.5 inches, so I can wiggle that bed in and out, and I'm not going to be bumping into the logs that extend beyond the box frame. And I'll show you right now what I mean about that 1 inch, okay? Oh, yeah, and this portion of it, make mattress frame 1.5 inches larger than the bed sheet. I've told you that already. Okay, I'll show you on the log.